Hi guys, this is the third attempt to film this video. I got requests for this video after I did my Is Your Vagina Healthy? How to Get Rid of Vagina Odor video. From that video has come a lot of requests on basically a puberty, hygiene and health video. So I'm going to cover 3 topics in this video: periods, hair growth, because you get lots of bodily hair during your puberty, and body odor. I want to say thank you, by the way, for everybody who has liked that video and shared that video and made comments in that video. Thus far, it is my most popular video, and I'm so happy because it was one that I was dreading making, and it's been so helpful to so many people. So it just goes to show, if you're scared of something, face it head on. Track your periods. That's one of the best pieces of advice my mum gave me, is to track your periods. And by that I mean keep a monthly sort of database on when your period starts and when it finishes. So whether it be in a diary, in a phone, on a piece of paper that you're going to keep, when your period starts, make a note of it, and when your period ends, make a note of it. So with me, I use a green and a red dot in my phone on my calendar. I'll put a green dot when it begins and a red dot when it finishes. So by tracking your period, you'll see within a couple of months, you'll start to know when it's coming. And if you know when your period is coming, you're more prepared for it mentally. I mean, nothing can really prepare you for it because it hurts and it's uncomfortable, but if you know when it's coming, at least you can sort of work around it, because you might know that, okay, my period is coming, I'm going to be feeling a bit down around this time, I know not to go to certain events around this time, you know, I know not to go to this party, whatever. So definitely track your period, and also that can help you know if there are changes happening in your period, if it's getting longer, if it's getting shorter, if it's moving and things like that. I would just suggest, straight up, do not use sanitary towels that don't have wings. Only use sanitary towels that have wings, just because the whole point of you using a sanitary towel is that you want it to soak up the substance. You don't want it shifting around, and sanitary towels that don't have wings, I find, move around, and that's when you can get, you know, blotches on your knickers and your dresses, and it's just not a good look. Basically, they come in all sizes. You know, you've got your sanitary towels for your lighter periods, and you've got ones for your thicker periods. Make sure you're using the right one for your type of flow. If you do flow heavy, don't waste your time using these thinner ones, because you're going to change them every hour. Just use the thicker ones, which are more suited for you. Change your sanitary towels every 2 hours. Honestly, girls, don't allow it to stay there for a whole day, even if it's not completely soaked. Good practice is to change your sanitary towels every 2 hours. Now, another thing, you know, there's a discharge that comes sometimes before or after your period. It's like a brownish color. I mean, for some people it's green, whatever, all different colors. When you're having those discharges, that doesn't mean you should stop wearing any sort of sanitary towel. And instead of using your expensive ones, panty liners are actually best for that period. And panty liners are just basically a really thin period pad. Basically, they usually don't have wings, and that's because they're not really catching blood, they're just catching discharge, and it's better for you to use these instead of not having anything, because discharge on knickers can cause odor, whereas like discharge on panty liners can be soaked up and makes them odorless. Basically, avoid wearing tight clothing, because you already feel uncomfortable, you know, down there when you're having your period. You already feel very conscious of that area. You don't want to feel any more discomfort by wearing tight, uncomfortable clothing. You know, eat some comfort food. Chocolate is well known for making you feel very happy when you're in your period, because it releases a happy hormone. Do indulge a little bit, but just don't go crazy and make yourself fat. And understand what you're feeling during your period is known as PMS, premenstrual syndrome. It's not who you are all the time. It is a change of hormones happening in your body, and it's understandable. Just, I would say, don't use it as an excuse to be rude. Hair comes from everywhere during your puberty. It's like, oh my god, where did it come from? I feel for you, trust me, I remember. But I was quite lucky. My mum, she showed me basically how to remove my hair, and we had a really sort of girly conversation. Now, not everybody's going to have that conversation with their mum. It's very likely you're going to get hair under your armpits, hair in your genital area. Those are the two main places you're going to get hair. I would avoid at all cost shaving. The reason why is because shaving actually causes your hair to grow back thicker, and it makes you prone to ingrown hairs. If possible, and I know it's more expensive, use hair removal creams, because they make you less prone to ingrown hairs and they don't irritate the skin so much. If you are going to use hair removal cream, make sure you are buying for the normal skin, because they are thicker and actually they're going to do the job quicker than hair removal creams for sensitive skin, because they tend to be more watery. Unless you do have sensitive skin, then go ahead and use that one. If you are going to shave, and I can understand why teenagers do shave, it's because you're younger and you probably don't have the money to be going to get a wax or buying hair removal cream, which can be quite expensive. If you do shave, to avoid ingrown hairs, you must exfoliate. Exfoliating is the only way to avoid ingrown hairs. You should exfoliate maybe every 2 days, so maybe Monday, Wednesday and Friday, and then again on Sunday. So exfoliate under your armpits. Basically what the exfoliator does is it brings hair out of its follicles, because that's all ingrown hair is. It's just hair that's stuck in the follicle and needs to be brought up. So you can get an exfoliator. I use this one by Soap and Glory, and it's called Flake Away. So you can buy an exfoliator, or do you know what I found to be just as good as exfoliators, which can be really expensive, is facial scrubs. Because facial scrubs also have the granules that exfoliators have. It's just that they're for the face. So I have used, for example, this St. Ives one to exfoliate, and it's worked really well to help me get rid of ingrown hairs as well. So if you can't afford an exfoliator, definitely use a facial scrub. If you are shaving, make sure you use a foaming gel or foam beforehand, because that will prepare the skin for the razor. Don't ever shave on dry skin. If you can't get a shaving gel or a shaving foam, get a bar of soap, lather it up on your skin wherever it is you want to shave, and when it's all lathered up, then shave. And also try and shave in the opposite direction of your hair growth. So if your hair sort of is downwards growing, shave going up. If your hair is upwards growing, shave going down. So shave in the opposite direction of your hair growth. So you do have to make sure you are showering every single day. Twice preferably, you know, that would be fantastic. But you do have to make sure you shower or get water on your body in some way, shape or form. You might need to get a flannel, soak it and wipe under your armpits and your genitals, or just take a full-blown shower. That would be even better. So just try and avoid allowing yourself to go days without showering and just allowing the sweat to build up. It's just not a good look. You know, people don't want to go near people that smell. And a mistake a lot of people do is they use scented deodorants underneath their armpits. And actually what happens when you use scented deodorants is that the scent of the deodorant and your sweat just mix together and sort of create another scent rather than eradicating any smell whatsoever. The way you can eradicate smell from an area is to use a odorless deodorant. I'm speaking from experience here when I say you have to use odorless deodorants to get rid of smells. When I was a teenager, that was my #1 thing. I had immaculate skin, you know, I didn't go through puberty in a really harsh way. My periods were awful, but it was once a month. But the one thing I had problems with during puberty was my armpits produced really bad odor, and I wish somebody had told me use an odorless deodorant. And the only one product I have found that has worked is Mitchum's, and honestly, hand on heart, Mitchum's will get rid of odor underneath your armpits, full stop. I've recommended this to a lot of my teenage cousins and friends, and they've also said that as well. So definitely Mitchum's. It looks like this. Make sure you pick up the odorless one. So Mitchum's does come in shower fresh, powder fresh, but the one you wanted is the unscented Mitchum's, really, because that's the one that's gonna just not make you have any smell underneath your armpit. It actually just sort of soaks up the sweat and the odor even before it becomes apparent to anybody. So I hope this video has been helpful, and for the people who did leave me requests about hygiene and health during puberty, I hope I've covered all your pointers. I have made a note to try and do that, but I hope I have. So I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye.